A single airport took 14 years to build. It opened 9 years late. The cost ballooned from 2.8 billion euros to over 7 billion, and here's the crazy part. It opened right in the middle of a global pandemic when nobody was flying. But that's just the beginning. Right now, across the planet, there are ghost cities sitting empty, airports with zero flights, theme parks that shut down after just months, nuclear storage facilities that will never store anything. All of them cost billions, all of them are massive failures, and almost nobody talks about them. These aren't just construction delays, these are disasters that wasted more money than most countries spend in a year. We're talking about projects where the builders knew things were going wrong but kept building anyway, where politicians ignored experts, where entire cities were built for people who never came. The truth behind these mega builds will shock you. Because the real scandal isn't just the money, it's what these failures reveal about how broken our planning systems really are. Today, I'm showing you the most expensive mistakes in modern construction history. The ghost cities, the cursed highways, the airports that became jokes, and the one nuclear facility that ate $32 billion and will never open. By the end of this video, you'll understand why these projects failed. You'll see the warning signs that everyone ignored, and you'll discover the shocking pattern that connects them all. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Let's start with something important. When governments plan mega projects, they're betting billions on the future. They're trying to predict what cities will need in 10 or 20 years. Will more people fly? Will populations grow? Will businesses move in? These predictions drive everything. A new airport gets built because planners think passenger numbers will double. A city gets constructed because leaders believe workers will flood in. A highway gets approved because officials expect traffic to explode. But here's the problem. These predictions are often wildly wrong. According to research from Oxford University, almost half of all infrastructure projects run over budget. Not by a little bit, by huge amounts. The average cost overrun is 44%. That means if a project is supposed to cost 1 billion, it actually costs 1.4 billion or more, and the time delays. Even worse, 65% of projects finish late, some by years, some by decades. Now you might think this happens because of bad luck, unexpected problems, natural disasters, but that's not the real reason. Most of these failures happen because of something much simpler, something much more preventable. It starts with what experts call optimism bias. When leaders pitch a mega project, they paint the rosiest possible picture. They underestimate costs, they overestimate benefits, they ignore risks. Why? Because if they told the truth, nobody would approve the project. Think about it. If a politician said this airport will cost 7 billion and might open a decade late, would anyone vote for it? Of course not. So they say it'll cost 3 billion and open on time. They get approval, construction starts, and then reality hits. But there's another factor. Once billions get spent, it becomes almost impossible to stop. This is called sunk cost fallacy. Leaders think we've already invested so much, we can't quit now, so they keep pouring money into failing projects, year after year, billion after billion. The result: abandoned airports, empty cities, facilities that will never open, and taxpayers left holding the bill. The projects I'm about to show you all share these problems. They were sold on false promises, they ignored warning signs, and they wasted staggering amounts of money. Now here's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. This is possibly the most embarrassing mega project in modern European history. Picture this: Germany, a country famous for engineering excellence, the nation that builds precision cars and high-speed trains. They decide to build one new airport for their capital city. Simple, right. Construction started in 2006. The plan was straightforward: replace Berlin's aging airports with one modern hub. The budget, 2.8 billion euros. Opening date, October 2011. Here's what actually happened. The airport opened in October 2020, 9 years late. The final cost, over 7 billion euros. More than triple the original budget, but wait, it gets crazier. During those 9 years of delays, the airport just sat there, empty, finished but unusable. Escalators were turned on to keep them working. Display screens showed flight information from other airports just to test them. Security scanners gathered dust. The building was ready but completely silent. Why? Because of the fire safety system. The fire alarms didn't work properly. The smoke extraction system was installed wrong. Sprinklers were placed in the wrong locations. Cables lacked proper insulation. Walls were built with the wrong fire ratings. Engineers found 66,500 defects. 34,000 were called significant. 5,845 were labeled critical. Think about that number. Over 66,000 things built incorrectly. In Germany, the country known for perfectionism, the opening ceremony was scheduled for June 3, 2012. Angela Merkel was supposed to attend. 10,000 guests were invited. Airlines had booked the first flights. The national broadcaster planned 24 hours of live coverage. 3 weeks before opening, they canceled everything. The fire system failed its final test. They were scheduled for October 2013. Then spring 2014, then 2017, then 2018. Each time, new problems emerged. Display screens reached the end of their lifespan before a single passenger walked through. They'd been turned on for 6 years with nobody there. Hundreds had to be replaced. The mayor of Berlin, Klaus Wowereit, was forced to resign over the disaster. One construction company went bankrupt. So did taxi companies waiting for business. Shops that had signed leases to open in the terminal lost everything. One German newspaper calculated the delays cost taxpayers 25 million euros every single month. When the airport finally opened in 2020, it was the worst possible timing. The world was in pandemic lockdown. Air travel had collapsed. The brand new €7 billion airport opened to nearly empty terminals. Critics called it a white elephant, a monument to failed planning. The German engineering community was ashamed. But if you think one delayed airport is bad, wait until you see what happens when entire cities fail. Now here's something that will blow your mind.